Do you feel like God called you to a greater purpose, and yet over time, it just seems years and years, maybe even decades have gone by, and nothing unique, nothing special, nothing wonderful, nothing life-changing, nothing dramatic has happened in your life, and it's almost like those callings from God and what you felt God was leading you to do have just become dreams of the past and no longer will happen? Can I tell you that God puts something in your heart, and sometimes it takes years, decades, a long period of time before those things ever come to fruition. You think about Joseph. He was 17 years old when he had God-given dreams, but he had to go through being rejected by his brothers, slavery, and then he was lied about. He was thrown into prison, and it was 13 years later before those dreams came to fruition. You think about Moses. Moses knew in his heart that God had called him to deliver his people from Egypt, and yet it was 40 years in the desert just doing a menial job leading sheep around before God actually used him for that task. God promised Abraham that he was going to have a son, but it wasn't until he was 100 years old until that great promise came to fruition. And so what I'm saying is, and you can use a lot of illustrations, David was a teenage boy when God anointed him king, but it was much later, and through all the struggles, Saul trying to kill him and going into the wilderness and having to hide for his life, all the stuff he had to go through before that came to fruition. And so what I'm saying is, the gifts and callings of God are without repentance. If God called you to do something, it will take place at some point in time.